Let's jump right in, because today we are tackling a massive and frankly often completely invisible headache that is currently plaguing thousands of modern organizations. We're talking about taking those messy, organically grown IT systems, the ones that just sort of built themselves haphazardly over the years, and transforming them into secure, well-governed, highly efficient environments. If your team uses Microsoft 365, listen up, because this is going to be incredibly relevant to you.
So let's kick things off with a pretty crucial question, one that honestly keeps a lot of non-technical leaders, charity trustees, and business owners up at night. Is your organic Microsoft 365 setup actually a hidden risk? Because let's be real, most organizations didn't meticulously sit down and plan out their cloud architecture. They just started using it, right? A shared folder here, a quick Teams channel there, and suddenly, 5 years down the line, you're looking at this sprawling digital web. The question is, has that organic growth quietly turned into a massive liability? To help us untangle all of this, we're drawing on some fantastic insights from Adjona Technology. They are a trusted plain English advisor, which we absolutely love, specializing in helping small charities, care providers, and growing businesses transition from operational uncertainty to a much safer, robust digital setup. They are all about building practical foundations, totally skipping the confusing tech jargon. Here is our roadmap for today. 1. The organic growth problem. 2. Uncovering hidden security risks. 3. The AI readiness illusion. 4. The secure operations hub. And 5. Practical next steps. Section 1. The organic growth problem. Okay, so we're comparing two very different realities here. First, there's the old way. And honestly, this might look a lot like your reality right now. We're talking scattered email attachments, critical business decisions buried deep in random WhatsApp messages, and completely chaotic, overflowing personal OneDrive folders. Now, contrast that with the governance way. This gives you structured SharePoint environments, crystal clear permissions, and tightly controlled workflows. It's literally the difference between chaotic digital hoarding and running a streamlined, efficient digital library. So how do you actually know if you're suffering from an organic growth problem? Well, look out for these symptoms. Things like confusing file storage or staff constantly asking, hey, where on earth does this document go? Then there's sensitive information getting overshared just totally by accident. And of course, missing follow-ups because you're relying on manual processes. But here's why this is so critical. These are not just minor daily annoyances. If you're a registered care provider, for instance, this stuff leads directly to audit trail weaknesses during high-stakes CQC inspections. It creates real operational confusion and incredibly avoidable cyber risks.
Section 2. Uncovering hidden security risks.
Now, understanding a concept called zero trust is absolutely crucial here. In plain English, it just means verifying an identity with strong authentication every single time someone logs in. Plus, you only give people the exact level of access they need to do their specific job, and absolutely nothing more. It's all about knowing and controlling exactly who is looking at your sensitive files at any given moment. Because without that zero trust approach, those hidden risks just multiply like crazy. You're looking at things like weak multi-factor authentication, way too many administrator accounts floating around, and completely unmanaged guest access. Add uncontrolled personal devices accessing your work data into the mix, along with sophisticated phishing attacks that completely bypass traditional email filters, and you've got a serious problem. Sharing passwords or failing to manage external guest links are massive, massive vulnerabilities. But hey, take a breath. Fortunately, these are completely fixable gaps, not reasons to panic. The thing to remember is that security isn't one size fits all. For standard business data, a basic level is a great starting point. Think enforced MFA, strong password policies, and basic device locks. But if you are, say, a registered care environment handling highly sensitive patient data, you absolutely have to scale up to enhanced or high controls. We're talking strict data sharing controls, Microsoft Defender, and mobile threat defense. It's all about matching your security to your actual operational risk.
Section 3. The AI readiness illusion.
I really want you to consider this profound reality. AI does not create a new risk out of nothing. It simply surfaces whatever was already sitting there, totally unreviewed. Think about powerful tools like Microsoft Copilot. If your permissions are a total mess and a highly confidential HR document has accidentally been accessible to the entire company for the last 3 years, well, Copilot is going to find it. It's going to read it. And it might just helpfully summarize it for the absolute wrong person. The hard truth here is simple. You cannot automate a broken process. Just buying an AI license isn't some magic wand for digital transformation. True readiness requires you to strip away all that underlying chaos first. If your document structures are a mess, deploying AI is essentially like dropping a supercharged, high-performance engine into a car that has no brakes. So, what's the actual game plan? You follow these steps for responsible adoption. Before you even think about turning on AI, you need to review the permissions for your sensitive sites. Pick safe, low-risk use cases to test the waters first, like maybe just drafting standard routine emails. Write up clear guidance for your staff on exactly what they can and can't not feed into a chatbot. Embracing AI safely is a highly methodical process. It is entirely about strengthening human capabilities and controls, not just blindly flipping a switch. Section 4, the Secure Operations Hub. Getting to that secure hub involves 3 very manageable steps. First up, you assess. You sit down and figure out who actually has access to what right now. Second, you clean up. You tidy up SharePoint, archive those ancient, unused Teams channels, and just simplify everything. And third, you implement practical workflows. Look, this isn't about adding layers of enterprise-level red tape. It is a calm, highly structured path forward to finally regain control of your digital workspace.
And when you do that, you end up with a secure operations hub, featuring the kind of tools that actually make your life easier. Structured document libraries where things actually make intuitive sense. Clear metadata that tells you exactly who owns a document and when it's due for a review. You can even set up automated reminders for compliance checks. This totally transforms those scattered, panic-inducing folders into a unified, highly auditable environment. Just imagine the pure relief when an inspector suddenly asks for your Cyber Essentials or QCC evidence, and it is all sitting right there, perfectly organized.
Section 5. Practical next steps. It's really important to highlight that this level of governance isn't just reserved for massive multinational corporations. The organizations that actually benefit the most from this kind of tailored, plain English support are small charities, registered care providers, CICs, and growing SMEs. These are teams out there doing incredibly critical work, and they need practical help, but they absolutely cannot afford to be bogged down by complex IT jargon or bloated, expensive software systems. I want you to take a moment and honestly reflect on your own operational resilience right now. If an auditor, a funder, or an inspector knocked on your digital door today, could your organization confidently find and protect all of its compliance records? If your answer is no, or frankly, if you even hesitated for a second there, it's a massive flashing signal that your Microsoft 365 foundations need some immediate attention.
When you realize that those foundations do need strengthening, knowing exactly where to turn is incredibly important. You really don't have to navigate the exhausting complexities of cloud security, permissions cleanup, and AI readiness completely on your own. Adjona Technology helps small charities, care providers, and growing businesses make Microsoft 365 safer, clearer, and easier to govern. Visit adjona.com to start a practical conversation.
Ultimately, you really have to ask yourself one final thing. When that inspector inevitably knocks on your digital door, will you be ready or will you be scrambling?